Welcome to Formosa Dream Chasers.
We're your hosts, Mary Ann
and Ching En.
Please join us as we explore the journeys amazing people take in pursuit of their dreams.
And get insights from their experiences.
Let's hit the road
and get started.
Hello, and welcome back to Formosa Dream Chasers. Today, musician and busker Harry Swart is back to share more about his experience busking in Taiwan and why he believes performing on the streets is the path that's leading him straight towards his dreams. Because I also know you do gigs. If you had to compare the type of performing you do, busking and also at a special events place, what would be similar and what would be different?
Okay, well, it depends on the audience. So if it's Taiwanese people, so then I will play the stuff that Taiwanese people always request. And I'll play stuff like Perfect from Ed Sheeran, Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis. So it's all slow, it's all slower, lower beat, kind of romantic. Yeah, just a feel-good, moody songs. And then if I'm doing outdoor busking, then if it's really thousands of people passing by, right, like hundreds of people passing by, and nobody's sitting down yet, and I'm really just casting my net, then I'll go down my playlist and I'll play whatever catches my eye. And then it can be more upbeat, can be louder, can be something that fewer people know about that I love, that just sounds good. If I'm fishing, if I may use the term, if I'm fishing for fans, then I'll just play a really wide variety of stuff. If it's predominantly a Taiwanese crowd, then I'll focus on the things that like the hits in Taiwan, Ed Sheeran and Maroon 5 and Bruno Mars and Charlie Puth and all the girls ask for and the boys ask for too, and like Westlife and the Beatles, and then depending on who's sitting to listen, I'll pick my next song, right? So if I'm fishing generally, so whatever people sit down for, I'll try to play the next one similar to that, right? So if I was playing a classic rock song and I see people stopped and turned around for that, then I'll play another one like that I think that they will also like. So it very much depends on what I think will work.
Do you mind sharing a story or an experience you had where while you were out busking and something that one of your audience members did really surprised?
Oh, yes. Okay, so so the first time I busked, I told you I busked at the MRT station there next to Central Park on the shopping mall side. The very first time, these girls came to sit on the wall there on the sort of seating area there next to the MRT, and they didn't talk to me, but I could tell they were listening. And then there's a little photo booth right there, right? So they went in there, they came out again, and then she gave me these 3 little photos, and she said, okay, which one is your favorite photo? Without saying any preamble, okay?
Okay.
I was like, oh, hi, which of these are yours favorite? And I picked one, and she's like, that's my friend's photo. She wants you to have it. And I still have that photo in my bag.
Okay.
That's my very first busking exposure, and it was very, very positive. And then they ran away. They were just little kids, but it was very cute. Another thing that happened, this happened recently. I was playing at Leoha Night Market, and on the same evening, I don't know what it was, but on the same evening, 3 separate grown men had tears in their eyes when they were listening to me, and they were all Japanese. Leoha International Tourist Night Market is a tourist night market, so they bring busloads of foreigners, Korean and Japanese, past there, and I had 3 grown men crying in one night. Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking something like, can you feel the love tonight? That one. And I think it was Fields of Gold, or so one of those moody, moving songs. But anyway, 3 separate occasions. And it was that never happened before. So I think Japanese people may be super sensitive to art, like beauty. I don't know, but I think that might be a good place for me to go busk.
I see. I'm curious because I have this impression that generally Taiwanese people are very supportive, but they're not very, how do I say this? They're not
expressive.
Yes, they won't tell you directly what they like or don't like. They're not very
Yeah.
direct.
So you get a good cross section of the possibilities when you're busking. Like most people, maybe they'll just smile. They'll look at you and smile and nod. That's like level one.
Okay, there's levels. Okay, tell me more about the levels.
So one more levels. So like, and then the next level is they'll give you the thumbs up, and double thumbs up, and then sometimes they'll say hello, and then they'll say, could you play? Could you? And then so about maybe 5 to 10% of people will talk to me in English, almost perfect English sometimes, and they'll say, oh, they know this song, and could you sing this other song? People, yeah, it's an emotional thing. Like the moment they hear you, they're hopefully moved by the music, and then they see where you are, right? So you can catch them in that moment where they're when they find you for the first time, and you can see their expression, what their expression looks like before they put the mask on. Right before they put the mask of indifference on again. In that moment, you can see how they feel about it sometimes. And if you catch their eye and they see you're enjoying it, they're enjoying it, and you can see that they're enjoying it. Like I said before, you get that feedback loop of happiness. So I found Taiwanese people are very, very susceptible to beauty, which is a wonderful, amazing thing to me. And they're very movable, right? So old and young, and in between everything. Everyone is open to being moved by something beautiful, and it's amazing to me that. So whether they hide it or not, they're still moved and they still attracted by it. So whether they show it or not, they show it by slowing down, they show it by sitting down, and they might never talk to me or look at me. But I can still tell when they slow down and turn around and come and sit down.
Going back to the tips, I'm
Yes.
curious, when people tip you, do you know how much they usually tip? Or maybe a better question would be, if I want to tip a busker, what would be the range of that you would appreciate in terms? Of course, the more you tip, the happier.
No. You know what? Okay, so that's a very interesting question. So I'll often find like students tip in coins.
Okay.
And but I'm grateful. Even for 10 NT, I'll still give them the same thank you as if it's a 500. And that happens once or twice every 2 weeks or so. I don't know. Yeah, mostly people tip 100 NT because that's just easy. It's in your pocket. And so I find that people just tip 100 usually, like overwhelmingly. I'll get like maybe 70% in notes, 100 NT notes, and then 30% in coins.
Okay.
So people put 50 NT, 250s. They'll put whatever's in their pocket. So if they have 100 NT, often they'll just give that. And if they only have coins, they'll just give that. And it's funny to me, they'll apologize. They'll say, sorry, I don't have 100 NT. Here's the coins. I only have coins now. Please forgive me. And I'm like, are you joking? Money is money, bro. It all adds up.
Yes, that is true. Shifting the conversation back to, pursuing or choosing to do music, what are some of the challenges or harder realities you've had to deal with of following this choice?
It does take a lot of time. So like it's basically like a second job now. I was overdoing it before because I was in such a hurry. Because I'm older now, and I don't want to wait around anymore. So I can't wait. Like I want to go busking every day, and I just can't. My voice can't take it. So that's very hard for me to accept. But I actually kind of broke my voice Monday. My voice was like that. Like I couldn't. It was like a frog. Like I couldn't even. So I couldn't sing anything at all. And I was still teaching, but my students were laughing at me because my voice was so weird. So I totally overdid it last week. So now I've kind of learned my lesson. This week, I didn't busk at all until last night. And I just did 1 hour. Tonight, I'm going to do maybe 2 hours overall. And then tomorrow, I want to do a long day of 4 hours if I can. And I think, and hopefully on Monday, my voice will still be in one piece. So that's a hard reality. That's not something that a guitarist or a violinist or a flute player would have to worry about, for example, or a saxophone player, because presumably they can do that every day.
Right.
If I want to make a living with this, it's going to be harder for me. I think I make more per hour maybe than the average instrument player, but I can I can perform far fewer hours per week. So I have to maximize the locations where I go. If making a living is my concern, which luckily it isn't yet. So I think I'm lucky because I have a really good job and I've got good benefits. I've got a whole winter vacation now where I can develop stuff and think about what I want to do and plan everything. So it's a bit of pressure on, let's say, I'm guessing I can do 8 hours a week of singing, which I think is still a bit too much. But I want to do it. So I have to think about where I'm going to do those hours, and I have to weigh, is it good for exposure? Is it good for engagement? Is it good for income? And then I have to decide, that's always a factor. And when you start busking, it's a bit stressful because if you're not doing the regulated way, you're basically, it's like the Wild West. You have no idea what's going to happen. Like you're going to a spot where maybe I've been there before, but I never know what's going to be on Ray Fong's corner when I get there. It could be like those capybara robot things with the suit and with the
yeah.
Or there could be, somebody doing some karaoke or whatever, or there could be a particularly protective security guard on that day who really cares about the rules or whatever. You never know what's going to happen.
Right.
And so you have that little bit of that apprehension when you go out. But I think overall, wow, I couldn't recommend it enough. I think Kaohsiung is amazing. I think there are dozens and dozens of places. And I'm not afraid to say, everybody just go out there and do it. Because I don't think that it's an inexhaustible resource, really. Especially because, Taiwan has just got millions of people, and all of them go to shopping malls. So you can go to any MRT near a busy event, and you'll have thousands of people. And at least if you just have 1% of those people stop and appreciate what you're doing, you can make a good living from that.
What would be your advice to people who are thinking of either testing out being a busker or who also wants to be a performer as well?
My advice is don't think of it as, oh, now I'm going to go make a living or now I need to go make some money. Don't think of that at all. What you do is you go find a nice spot where people will have a chance to hear you, like in the park or, somewhere where lots of ears will hear you without you feeling stared at. And then you just rehearse with your bag open in front of you. You just rehearse. You don't even look or think about anybody. And you rehearse as if you were at home. So if you were going to practice your scales, you do that. If you were going to practice a song you only know halfway through, you do that. If you're going to rehearse something you already know well, that's best, right? And then you just relax and do that for 2 hours, and then you close your bag, and you don't expect anything. If there's nothing in the bag, it doesn't matter at all. If somebody puts something in the bag, you just smile and nod. You don't need any engagement skills just yet. Those will come. So just get out there, rehearse your routines in public where people can have a chance to hear it, and get used to people noticing you. Because that was very hard for me, very distracting. If somebody stops and turns around, that's very distracting. If a really pretty girl really smiles at you, it's very distracting. You just drop the ball, like, whoa, what am I doing? So that's a very low stakes environment for you to get used to being observed while you're performing. But I think many performers are used to that already. But yes, I think you should just do a low stakes entry where you don't need the money and you have the time. You have something beautiful to share, and you just go out and share it without expecting anything. Maybe put your Instagram there. The only thing you do is maybe asking people to follow you, and you slowly build up your brand like that. And when people start tipping you, you're going to start feeling super validated. You're going to start feeling like, wow, this is not just me. This is something I could do for a living. And it's an amazing feeling because presumably you're doing that instrument because it's your passion. Do that a few times and see what happens. I bet you'll be amazed at how many people are hungry for live music, hungry for a beautiful music.
While you were sharing your experience about busking, I suddenly had a question as to whether your being a busker is something that you openly share, because you're also a teacher. Do you tell your students that you also do this, or is
Yes, I do. I tell everybody now because I'm so excited about it because I'm making real money with it, right? I'm so proud of it. And it's something that what I've been so uncomfortable with before. But for me, it's just amazing that it's working, and I want people to know that they could do it too. That's why I want to tell everyone. Like,
Okay.
I want to tell everybody, look, I'm making money with this. You should get out there. I see lots of younger buskers who don't have their bag open, and I'm like, bro, just leave your bag open. They're like, no, it's just for fun. I'm like, no, dude, come on.
I see.
Value what you're doing, because people scoff at it when you tell them at first. Like, I told a coworker, and they were like, okay, why are you doing that? Are you desperate for money? I told him how much I made, and he was like, I apologize. So like, it's like being able to make money with it makes it legit. If you're just out there like banging a tin can and making a horrible noise and not making any money, then it's like, dude, what on earth are you doing with your time, But if you're putting out something out that's semi-decent and you're getting, good tips for that, it feels like something that you want to celebrate, It feels like something you want to tell everyone. And I want other people to do too. I want other people to feel happy the same way I am, I want other buskers and musicians to get out there. This is the thing. I feel busking is really what I want to do for the rest of my life. What's amazing about this is all the money I'm making goes straight into my pocket. Until I make over a certain amount per year, that's all, tax-free. And I want to do this because I don't have to pay anyone anything. I don't have to pay an agent. I don't have to pay a record label. I don't have to pay for advertising. And all of those things cut 99% of your profit if you publish your music. All of those things need to be paid. So that's why you make pennies on the dollar if you publish, if you get an album or you get a single. So I think if you want to make a living with music, busking is by far the best way. Because, like I said, I can pocket all of the profit I make, and I have my own vision. I have a really powerful vision of my own value. And the minute you start working with somebody else, you start seeing your own value through their filter. Right? So I think it's super important, for me anyway, that I stick to myself, because I have my own vision, a really strong sense of my destiny with this gift. And if the minute you work with somebody else, if somebody else has negative self-beliefs where we're probably not going to go that far, that might subconsciously lower my drive. Or it might subconsciously dim the intensity of my vision. So I think it's good advice generally for somebody who has a dream. Keep it to yourself, because people are super negative, and they not intentionally, but people who don't have a dream are very, very skeptical about people who do. So that's why you should guard it,
Okay.
and only share it with someone that you can see is already maybe also on fire with their dream. So they'll resonate with your intensity even if you don't have the same dream.
Yeah.
They'll resonate with your optimism and they'll beam with the same enthusiasm, because they're also following their purpose. So they also have that synchronicity, that feeling of wholeness. So yeah, make sure your influencers are people who are following their dreams, because you're picking up on their vibe. So it's a precious thing. That's a very important thing. Your heart, your drive, your passion for your dream is a precious thing that you should guard.
And before we wrap up, is there
Yes.
anything else you would like to add?
Well, no, not that I can think of. I'm so grateful for this chance to share all these ideas with you and all these experiences. Thank you so much. Part of my dream coming true is this kind of networking, working with other people like you who also have a dream, who also have a passion. And, the more you let your weird flag fly, the more you attract the right sort of people,
I love that. Okay, yes. I really do. Thank you very much, Harry, for your time.
Thank you. Can I plug my social again, please?
Yes, of course. That's what I was
Okay.
going to go to. Please go ahead.
Okay, so my Instagram is Harry Swart Muso, which is spelled HarrySwartMuzo. Just follow my Instagram, please, my friends, and then and you'll know where I'm going to be.
This is Ching and Cho.
And Mary Ann Shoko.
See you guys next week.
Bye.